Imagine this. You're standing in a room full of people, colleagues, friends, maybe even strangers. Suddenly, someone throws a verbal dagger your way. It's subtle, but everyone hears it. Laughter ripples through the crowd. You feel your face flush, your heart pounding in your chest. In that moment, you're exposed stripped of your dignity, your power, your place in the social order. The humiliation doesn't end when the laughter fades. It lingers, echoing in your mind for days, weeks, sometimes years. You replay the moment, wishing you'd said something, done something, anything to reclaim your power, but you didn't. And now, whether you realize it or not, you've been marked. The world senses weakness like blood in the water. Disrespect, once tolerated, becomes an invitation for more. You wonder, why do some people seem untouchable, immune to these attacks, while others are targeted again and again? Here's the truth no one dares to say. The world is not fair. It's not kind. It's a battlefield, and only those who understand the dark laws of power ever rise above the fray. Most people would tell you to let it go, to be the bigger person. But that's exactly what keeps you trapped prey for the predators who rule the shadows. What if I told you there's a forbidden code of ruthless law, whispered by Machiavelli and practiced by the world's most powerful, that can transform you from victim to master? What if you could make disrespect so costly, so dangerous, that no one would ever dare cross you again? This isn't for everyone. Most will turn away, too afraid to wield the power I'm about to reveal. But if you're tired of being humiliated, if you're ready to reclaim your dignity and command respect, you cannot afford to miss what comes next. Because if you don't learn this, you will always be at the mercy of those who do. Stay with me. In the next few minutes, I'll show you the forbidden path, the Machiavellian way to destroy anyone who disrespects you, and to ensure you never become prey again. The choice is yours. Remain powerless, or step into the world of those who rule. Let's pull back the curtain on a lie you've been told since childhood, a lie that keeps you weak, exposed, and easy to control. Society worships the idea of forgiveness, of turning the other cheek, of being the bigger person. You're told that real strength is found in silence, that dignity means swallowing your pride and letting disrespect slide. But look around. Does this really protect you? Or does it simply mark you as an easy target? Every day, in offices, schools, and even families, you see it. The quiet ones, the nice ones, the ones who never fight back, are the ones who get trampled. The world doesn't reward passivity, it punishes it. The predators, the manipulators, the so-called alpha personalities they sense who will tolerate disrespect, and they exploit it, again and again. It's a cycle as old as humanity itself. Psychological studies confirm what Machiavelli knew centuries ago. Unchecked disrespect is corrosive. It eats away at your self-worth, your confidence, your reputation. The more you let it slide, the more others see you as weak, and the more you begin to believe it yourself. In one famous experiment, researchers found that people who failed to stand up for themselves in small ways were far more likely to be targeted for larger abuses later. The message is clear. The world tests your boundaries, and if you have none, you become invisible, or worse, a doormat. Think about the people you admire, the ones who command respect without ever raising their voice. Are they the ones who let slights go unanswered? Or are they the ones who set boundaries in stone, who make it clear consciously or not that disrespect comes with a price? The truth is, the mainstream narrative of passive virtue is a trap. It's designed to keep you docile, to make you easier to control, to ensure you never threaten the status quo. If you keep following this script, you will never escape the cycle of humiliation. You'll keep telling yourself that you're above it, while your power, your confidence, and your very identity are slowly stripped away. The predators will keep circling, and you'll keep bleeding. It's time to wake up. The world doesn't respect the meek, it devours them. If you want to break free, you need a new code, a darker, more effective approach. In the next section, I'll reveal the forbidden law that the powerful used to ensure they are never disrespected twice. Now, let's step into the shadows of Renaissance Italy, a world where power was not a game, but a matter of survival. In the blood-soaked streets of Florence, Niccolo Machiavelli observed a brutal truth. Mercy, when shown to the wrong person, is a fatal weakness. From this crucible of betrayal and ambition, he forged a law so ruthless, so effective, that it still terrifies the timid and empowers the bold. Men not either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries, but of more serious ones they cannot. This is not a law for the faint of heart. It is a code for those who refuse to be prey. Machiavelli saw that half-measures, slaps on the wrist, polite warnings, empty threats do nothing but breed resentment. When you respond to disrespect with weakness, you create an enemy who will wait, plot, and strike when you least expect it. But when you respond with overwhelming force, when you make the cost of disrespect so high that no one dares to cross you in the threat before it can grow, history is littered with the corpses of those who failed to understand this. Consider Cesare Borgia, the ruthless prince who inspired much of Machiavelli's writing. When a lieutenant betrayed him, Borgia didn't offer forgiveness or a second chance. He invited the man to a banquet, lulled him into a false sense of security, and then had him executed in front of his peers. The message was clear. Betrayal would be met with annihilation, not negotiation. After that, no one dared to cross Borgia again. Fast forward to the boardrooms of today's corporate empires. The most successful CEOs, the titans of industry, operate by the same code. When challenged or disrespected, they don't respond with petty revenge or passive aggression. They act decisively, removing threats, reshuffling teams, making examples of those who step out of line. Their power is not in their title, but in their willingness to enforce consequences. The underworld kingpins, too, understand this law. In their world, a single act of disrespect, if left unanswered, can unravel an entire empire. That's why their responses are swift, public, and absolute. Aphorisms echo through the ages. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Crush your enemy totally. These are not just words, they are survival strategies. The elite know that, to command respect, you must be willing to do what others will not. You must make it clear, disrespect is not an option, and mercy is reserved only for the loyal. This is the forbidden law. It is not about cruelty for its own sake, but about clarity, certainty, and the elimination of threats before they can grow. The world remembers those who set the rules and forgets those who are too weak to enforce them. In the next section, we'll dive into the psychology behind this law and why it works on a level deeper than most people ever realize. Power is not just a matter of muscle or money, it's a game played in the mind, a silent war of signals, boundaries, and consequences. Imagine the world as a vast wilderness, where every person is either a wolf or a sheep. The wolves set the rules, the sheep follow them. The difference isn't physical strength, but psychological mastery. From the moment we're born, we're hardwired to test boundaries. Children push limits to see what they can get away with. Adults do the same, only with more subtlety. In every group, every workplace, every relationship, there's an unspoken contest. Who will set the line? Who will enforce it? And who will be ignored, dismissed, or devoured? Machiavelli understood this primal truth. He wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved, if one must choose." Sun Tzu, centuries earlier, warned, if your opponent is of choleric temper, seek to irritate him. Pretend to be weak, that he may grow arrogant. Both men knew that power is perception, an aura you project, a reputation you defend with. Calculated cruelty. Modern psychology confirms what these ancient strategists intuited. Studies show that people instinctively respect those who enforce their boundaries and punish those who cross them. In one experiment, groups quickly formed hierarchies based on who was willing to retaliate against slights. The nice ones, the appeasers, were pushed to the bottom. The enforcers, those who responded to disrespect with swift, decisive action, rose to the top. Think of the chessboard. Pawns moved cautiously, always reacting, always vulnerable. The chess master, however, plays with foresight, sacrificing pieces when necessary, striking with precision. In life, as in chess, those who hesitate become pawns in someone else's. History is filled with examples of those who mastered the art of retaliation. Take Queen Elizabeth I, who faced constant threats to her throne. When a nobleman plotted against her, she didn't simply forgive or exile him, she made his punishment public and absolute. The message was unmistakable. Challenge the queen, and you will be destroyed. Her reign was marked by stability, not because she was cruel, but because she was clear. Contrast this with the fate of Tsar Nicholas of Russia. Known for his indecision and reluctance to punish those who undermined him, he became a symbol of weakness. His inability to enforce consequences led to his downfall and the collapse of an empire. Reputation is everything. In the social jungle, fear is a currency more valuable than gold. Calculated cruelty used sparingly, but unmistakably creates an aura of invincibility. People may not like you, but they will respect you. And in the end, Respect is the foundation of all power. This is the psychology of dominance. Set your boundaries in stone. Enforce them without hesitation, and let the world know that disrespect is a price too high to pay. In the next section, I'll show you exactly how to apply these principles in your own life and transform from pawn to master. Now, let's turn forbidden theory into ruthless practice. This is where you cross the threshold from knowing Machiavelli's law to wielding it. Most people will never dare to act, forever trapped in cycles of humiliation. But if you master these steps, you'll become the kind of person others fear. To cross, step 1. Assess the battlefield before you act. You must see the game for what it is. Not every slight deserves annihilation. Ask yourself, who disrespected you? Is this person a threat to your reputation, your career, your social standing? Who was watching? Public disrespect is a direct attack on your status. Private slights can sometimes be ignored or handled quietly. What's at stake? Sometimes letting a minor slight go is strategic. But if your authority is challenged in front of others, you must respond or risk being seen as weak. Case study. In a high-stakes meeting, a junior colleague openly mocks your idea. The room laughs. If you let it slide, you lose authority not just with the offender, but with everyone watching. This is a moment that demands action. Step 2. Calculate the risk. Machiavellian power is not about blind aggression, it's about cold calculation. What are the possible consequences of striking back? Could retaliation backfire, making you look petty or insecure? Is your position strong enough to withstand pushback? FOMO trigger. If you don't learn to weigh risks, you either overreact and self-destruct, or underreact and become invisible. The powerful know when to wait and when to strike. Step 3. Choose the right moment. Timing is everything. The best retaliation is unexpected, precise, and public enough to send a message. Immediate response. Sometimes a sharp comeback in the moment is enough to reassert dominance. Delayed response. Other times, wait until the offender is vulnerable, then act decisively. This creates uncertainty and fear. They never know when the hammer will fall. Hypothetical scenario. Your boss undermines you in front of the team. Instead of reacting emotionally, you wait. Later, in a key meeting, you present undeniable results that make your boss's earlier criticism look foolish without ever mentioning it directly. The room sees who truly holds the power. Step 4. Deploy tactical responses are Machiavellian tactics for every arena. Verbal comebacks. Use wit, not anger. That's an interesting perspective. Remind me, what was your last big success? Silence can be powerful. Let their words hang in the air, unacknowledged, making them look foolish. Social maneuvers. Isolate the offender. Subtly turn allies against them by highlighting their unreliability or disloyalty. Control the narrative. If rumors start, counter with your own version. Make sure your reputation is untouchable. Professional strategies. Document everything. If someone tries to sabotage you, have evidence ready when necessary. Escalate to higher authority, but only when you're sure you'll win. Psychological warfare. Make your boundaries clear. I don't tolerate disrespect. If it happens again, there will be consequences. Be unpredictable. Sometimes forgive, sometimes retaliate. Keep them guessing. Case study. A rising executive was constantly undermined by a rival. Instead of open confrontation, he quietly built alliances, exposed the rival's incompetence through results, and when the time was right, recommended the rival for a project doomed to fail. The rival's downfall was public and complete. No one dared challenge the executive again. Step 5. Mindset shift from victim to strategist. The most important transformation is internal. Stop reacting emotionally. Every response must be calculated, never impulsive. See yourself as a player, not a pawn. Every interaction is a move in the game of power. Embrace discomfort. Retaliation feels unnatural at first, but the alternative is a lifetime of being trampled. FOMO trigger. If you don't master this mindset, you will always be at the mercy of those who have. The world is ruled by those who dare to enforce their boundaries. Step 6. Ritualize your power. Make this a code you live by. Every time you enforce your boundaries, you reinforce your identity as someone who cannot be disrespected. Over time, your reputation will precede you. People will think twice before crossing you. Transformation. You are no longer the victim replaying moments of humiliation. You are the master, the strategist, the one who sets the rules. This is the Machiavellian path. Walk it, and you will never be prey again. But before you step fully into this world of power, you must understand, every weapon has a price. The Machiavellian path is not a game for the reckless or the vengeful. When you choose to crush rather than forgive, you set forces in motion that can spiral beyond your control. Retaliation breeds fear, but it can also breed enemies who wait in the shadows, plotting your downfall. Escalation is a real risk. One act of dominance can trigger a cycle of vendettas, drawing you into battles that drain your energy and peace. The more ruthless your reputation, the more isolated you may become. Allies may fear you as much as your enemies, and trust can be a casualty of your rise. There is also the moral cost. Each time you destroy rather than forgive, you chip away at your own humanity. The world of power is cold, and the line between strength and cruelty is razor thin. History is littered with those who became monsters in their quest to never be. Pray again. This path is not for the faint of heart. Only those with true discipline, strategic vision, and self-mastery can wield Machiavellian power without being consumed by it. Use discernment. Know when to strike and when to walk away. Remember, the ultimate power is not just in crushing your enemies, but in mastering yourself. You began this journey in the shadow of disrespect, haunted by moments when your voice was silenced, your worth questioned, your power stripped away. But now, you stand at the threshold of transformation. You've seen the hidden machinery of power, the dark psychology that separates the rulers from the ruled. You've learned Machiavelli's forbidden law, that to command respect, you must be willing to do what others fear, to set boundaries in stone, to retaliate with precision, to make disrespect a risk no one dares to take. This is not the easy path. It is not for the many, but for the few. The world will always try to tame you, to shame you into submission, to convince you that virtue lies in weakness. But you know better now. You know that true power is claimed, not given. That respect is enforced, not requested. That the price of being praised is far higher than the cost of being feared. If you're ready to step into this new identity, if you're ready to join the brotherhood of those who refuse to be disrespected, then make your commitment public. Subscribe now and become part of the few who live by the Machiavellian code. Comment below, I claim my power. Share this video with someone who needs to awaken their inner ruler. Because the world belongs to those who dare to seize it. Your transformation begins now. The choice is yours: remain prey or become the master.